Hey everyone, my name is Kala, and I just wanted to make this video because when I was streaming earlier today, people were asking me a very consistent question, and it was, what heroes should I be selecting in lower rank in order to carry myself out of those lower ranks? And we were having some discussions about whether or not the meta should shift when you're at a lower rank compared to high rank, and I was basically on the side of disagreeing with people, saying that there are a lot of heroes that are effective in high rank that can equally be as effective in carrying yourself out of low rank. So I just wanted to start off that video by saying that, my opinion does differ a little bit from the common community opinion, but I'll explain why. I don't think that heroes need to change drastically if you're comparing them from high rank to low rank. I think that the heroes that you should be selecting are as follows. For your warriors, you should be prioritizing Diablo, for sure. He has a very low execution style. You can get off his combo very easily, so as long as you understand how that combo works, it's pretty darn easy to get off. He also punishes a lot of the hyper carries that are strong in the meta right now, the Genjis, the Tracers. He can punish Junkrat quite well in addition to that. Garrosh, same thing, just a lot of displacement. It's really easy to get his combos off. You walk in, you use your Indomitable, you use the Wrecking Ball, the Groundbreaker to follow up, and he single-handedly can make a lot of plays on certain maps. As well, Varian, same thing, shuts down those hyper carries, lots of solo potential in that hero. The only problem with these selected warriors is the fact that they do have low wave clear, so that is something to be, very conscious of. There are times where you can pick heroes with a little bit more wave clear, maybe the ETC, if you're going his specific builds that allow him to wave clear, but in general, I would be sticking to those warriors just because of the value that they can bring to the early game and team fights, and they're just very easy to use. For ranged, my list is, so starting off with Greymane, basically the condition that you want to satisfy is the fact that you can duel well, you can clear waves really well, and your team fight is strong. So if you're picking range that just don't do that, I think that you're going to have a harder time in lower rank, because I really think that the biggest issue at lower rank is the fact that people just disrespect the minion waves and disrespect the macro. So if you can prioritize macro and prioritize clearing waves and just getting advantages like that, I think that the hero selection is much better to be kind of suited to that playstyle. So yeah, Greymane, he can solo bruisers, he can solo siege. Obviously every range can solo siege now. Clears waves fast. He can play relatively safe depending on if you are strong with the hero. So that's why I select him. Genji as well. Genji, just if you can learn to play him well, which doesn't take a long time, I really think that if you're a silver level player and you can learn to play Genji at a gold to platinum level, you will snap carry yourself out of low rank. So Hanzo is another one of those heroes that has strong poke. He can do siege by himself. Obviously, with the right builds, he can do bruisers by himself as well. Has a lot of ranged wave clear. If you go explosive arrows, can be really strong on maps like Shrines, where again, explosive arrows comes in handy, and just has a lot of playmaking potential, has a lot of vision control with the sonic arrow. So Hanzo's another one up there. Junkrat on top of him. Yeah, just a lot of range poke, again, displacement in that concussive mine, zone control with the steel trap. Riptire can make insane plays, really high stacking damage, so picking the Junkrat on like Volskaya, stuff like that, you can get a lot of value out of that hero, and he plays really safely as well. And this one's a little bit of a different pick, but I think he's going to be very powerful because of his wave manipulation, but Gul'dan. So he, again, as long as you can figure out how his life tap works and how to play around that, I think Gul'dan is a fantastic hero. You pick him on Tomb, you can pick him on Shrines, you can pick him on any of those wave clear maps, and his wave clear is basically uncontested when it comes to the mage pool. And then, of course, Phoenix. If you can get Phoenix right now, just because of the inherent power of this hero right now, I think Phoenix is a good pickup. But I would stick with the ones that I labeled beforehand because they're a little bit easier to play. But like, especially that Genji, man. If you guys can just learn how to play Genji, I swear you can carry yourself out of silver. He's an insanely powerful hero. For supports, I think that Stukov, Rehgar, and Malfurion are the three for me that people should be learning. Stukov, just because of how powerful this hero is, you've got the zone control and the silence. You have insane sustain when it comes to your healing. Massive shove, the 20-second cooldown. So it's fantastic for disengage. So as long as you can, position properly with Stukov, he doesn't really have the crazy dueling because you have to step up really far out of position. But I think Stukov is good. Rehgar, yeah, he can do bruisers, siege really easy. He clears waves super well. And of course, Stukov too. Your E can clear waves so well and from safety. So wave clear is very important for supports in this category for me. And then Malfurion, just a strong hero in general, but I would try to stick with honestly Stukov or Rehgar if you're going to go with supports, carrying yourself out of bronze and silver. For melee assassins, I would stick with Malthael, Dahaka, and Blaze. Malthael just because of his trading potential. You can beat so many players in lane, and the only real difficulties you're going to have are against some ranged. So you should be perfectly fine on the Malthael. You can go Pale Horse on big maps and just focus on wave clearing. Make sure you show up to fights as well, but killing the minions is basically what this whole, conversation is about. We need heroes that can kill minions and also duel very well. Dahaka, same thing. Fantastic at clearing the waves. You could pretty much not die on that hero ever if you go certain builds, though I do think Isolation at 10 is the go-to talent here, especially in this meta. And then Blaze, same thing. Just really good sustain, strong wave clear. Bunker is nigh uncontested in terms of power when we're talking about heroics. So those are the three for me, Malthael, Dahaka, and Blaze. And of course, we can't discount the fact that Dahaka is a global. You can make so many plays with the global and get your team a pretty substantial experience lead if you play it properly. For specialists, honestly, you guys are going to hate that I say this, but I don't think you should be picking specialists. I just don't really see them having a point in the current meta. They've fallen out a lot of in terms of flavor because of the changes to tower ammunition. But if you are going to pick one or two, I'd honestly suggest going with either Azmodan or Nazeebo. But you have to play them so properly in order to get value out of them. But personally, I would replace Azmodan with another mage. I'd replace Nazeebo with a different wave clear hero, personally, and I think that you get a way better chance of climbing out of low MMR. Also, for supports, you can also pick something like Alexstrasza on certain maps. On Volskaya, on Shrines. They're very difficult to deal with for some players. And then specialists, if you really have to, Zool up there too. Just heroes that prioritize on that wave clear and actually can generate early game pressure for your team. Thank you very much for listening. And of course, if you have questions, just leave it in the comments, or you can @ me on Twitter or find me on my Twitch channel. It is right there, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, check it out. There's a couple heroes that didn't, make the list, like Sonya, like Maiev and stuff like that. And they could be added to the list, but I just wanted to keep it as concise as possible. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.